What if I told you that most women are constantly sending signals and most men completely miss them? Welcome to Woman's Secret Signals, the place where hidden emotions, unspoken attraction, and real female psychology finally make sense. Have you ever wondered why she suddenly pulls away, even when things seemed perfect? Or why she says, I'm fine, but something clearly feels off? Or maybe why some men naturally attract women without even trying, while others are left confused. Here's the truth. Women don't always communicate directly, but they always communicate clearly if you know what to look for. On this channel, you'll discover asterisk the subtle signs women give when they're attracted to you. Asterisk the hidden reasons behind mixed signals and emotional distance. Asterisk what she really means without her saying a word. Asterisk and how to understand women on a deeper psychological level. No guessing, no confusion, no games. Because once you understand these signals, everything changes. So if you're ready to stop overthinking, start understanding, and finally see what others don't, hit subscribe and unlock the secrets she was never going to explain. This is Woman's Secret Signals, where silence speaks louder than words. Have you ever felt like you're in a relationship, but somehow still feel alone? One of the earliest signs that a relationship won't last is something many people miss at first, the illusion of emotional connection. On the surface, everything might look fine. You talk daily, you share moments, maybe even laugh together. But deep down, something feels off. From a female psychology perspective, emotional connection is not just about communication, it's about feeling seen, understood, and safe. When that's missing, even constant interaction can feel empty. In the early stages, women are naturally more attuned to emotional signals. If she starts noticing that her thoughts, feelings, or concerns are brushed aside or misunderstood, she may initially ignore it, hoping things will improve. But over time, this creates a quiet emotional gap. You might hear phrases like, I don't feel like you really get me, or it's hard to open up to you. These aren't small complaints, they're early warning signs. Another key detail? Conversations stay surface level. You talk about your day, plans, or random topics, but avoid anything deeper fears, values, or vulnerabilities. Without depth, the bond struggles to grow roots. And here's the truth. A relationship without emotional intimacy becomes fragile. It may survive for a while, but it won't thrive. So if you or your partner constantly feel unheard, disconnected, or emotionally distant, even when you're together, don't ignore it. That quiet discomfort is often the first signal that something isn't built to last. Have you ever felt like you're constantly trying to figure out where you stand with someone? One day, everything feels perfect. They're attentive, affectionate, and fully present. The next day, distant, cold, or suddenly too busy. This pattern of inconsistent effort and mixed signals is one of the clearest early signs that a relationship may not last. From a female psychology perspective, consistency equals emotional security. When a partner's behavior is unpredictable, it creates anxiety rather than comfort. Instead of feeling safe, she starts overthinking, analyzing texts, replaying conversations, and questioning her own worth. You might notice things like, they make big promises but rarely follow through. Their communication patterns constantly change. You feel valued only when it's convenient for them. At first, this inconsistency can even feel exciting, like a chase. But that emotional roller coaster quickly becomes exhausting. A healthy relationship should feel stable, not confusing. Women, in particular, tend to invest emotionally when they see effort being reciprocated. But when effort becomes one-sided, it leads to frustration and emotional withdrawal. She may start giving less, not because she doesn't care, but because she's protecting herself. Another subtle sign? You find yourself making excuses for them. They're just busy. They'll change soon. They didn't mean it. But deep down, you already feel the imbalance. Here's the reality. People who truly value you don't leave you guessing. Consistent effort isn't a bonus in a relationship, it's a foundation. If you're experiencing constant highs and lows, it's not passion, it's instability. And instability over time breaks even the strongest emotional connections. At the beginning of a relationship, it's easy to focus on chemistry, the attraction, the excitement, the way someone makes you feel in the moment. But here's what many people overlook: chemistry can't replace compatibility, especially when it comes to the future. One of the strongest early signs a relationship won't last is a lack of future alignment. From a female psychology standpoint, women often begin to think about long-term stability earlier in the relationship than men might expect. Not necessarily marriage right away, but direction, purpose, a sense of where is this going? If those conversations feel unclear, avoided, or uncomfortable, that's a red flag. You might notice things like one of you wants commitment, the other avoids defining the relationship. Your life goals don't match career, family, lifestyle. Future conversations are vague, joking, or quickly shut down. At first, it's easy to ignore these differences. You tell yourself, we'll figure it out later. It's too early to worry about that. But the truth is, misalignment doesn't fix itself with time. It usually becomes more obvious and more painful. For many women, emotional investment grows when they see a shared future. But when that vision is missing or uncertain, it creates internal conflict. She may stay, hoping things will change, but slowly, doubt replaces excitement. Another key sign? You feel hesitant bringing up the future because you're afraid of the answer. That fear alone says a lot. A strong relationship isn't just about enjoying the present, it's about building toward the same destination. Because no matter how strong the connection feels today, if two people are moving in different directions, the relationship will eventually reach a breaking point. Here's the question that can reveal a lot about your relationship. Does being with this person make you feel calm and secure, or drained and overwhelmed? One of the most overlooked early signs that a relationship won't last is emotional exhaustion. Not the occasional argument or bad day, that's normal, but a constant feeling of being mentally and emotionally tired because of the relationship itself. From a female psychology perspective, emotional safety is everything. A healthy relationship should feel like a place of peace, not a source of stress. But when things are off, you may start noticing. You feel anxious before talking to them. Small issues turn into big arguments. You're constantly overthinking their tone, words, or behavior. You feel like you have to manage the relationship alone. Instead of feeling supported, you feel like you're carrying the emotional weight by yourself. At first, you might blame external factors, stress, work, timing. But over time, it becomes clear that the relationship itself is draining your energy. For many women, this leads to something important: emotional burnout. She may still care, still love, but she no longer has the energy to keep trying. And when that emotional exhaustion reaches its peak, detachment begins. Another powerful sign? You feel more at peace when you're away from them than when you're with them. Think about that. Love isn't supposed to feel like a constant battle. Yes, relationships require effort, but they shouldn't require you to lose your sense of calm, your confidence, or your emotional well-being. Because when a relationship gives you more stress than peace, it's not just a rough phase. It's often a warning sign that something deeper isn't working. Let's end with one of the most important and most serious signs. You don't feel like yourself anymore. At the beginning of a relationship, you're naturally more flexible. You adjust, you compromise, you try to make things work. That's normal. But in a healthy relationship, you still feel like you, just happier, more supported, more complete. But when a relationship isn't meant to last, something different happens. You slowly start to lose your identity. From a female psychology perspective, women often adapt emotionally to maintain connection. But when that adaptation turns into self-sacrifice, it becomes dangerous. You might notice. You stop expressing your true thoughts to avoid conflict. You change your behavior just to keep them happy. You feel like you're walking on eggshells. Your confidence starts to drop. You don't recognize the person you've become. At first, these changes are subtle, almost invisible. But over time, They build up, and one day, you realize you've been shrinking yourself just to fit into the relationship. And here's the truth: love should never require you to abandon who you are. Another powerful sign: you feel more like a role than a person, like you're constantly trying to be good enough instead of simply being yourself. For many women, this is the breaking point. Because deep down, they know a relationship that costs you your identity is not a relationship that can truly fulfill you. The right relationship doesn't change who you are, it supports who you already are. So if you feel like you're losing yourself, don't ignore it. That feeling isn't insecurity, it's your inner voice telling you something isn't right. If even one of these signs felt familiar, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. The earlier you recognize these patterns, the better decisions you can make for your future. Because the right relationship won't confuse you, drain you, or change you, it will feel like clarity, peace, and growth.